Hello everyone, Chris Campbell here in the shop. Christmas has come a little early for me. This was a gift from a friend of mine, and it actually does have a lot of sentimental value to it. So what we have here is the Da Vinci Clock. This is a scale model of the actual size. It's a full-size scale model of the original Leonardo da Vinci's clock. Now, if you've ever actually got the chance to see the original clock at the Smithsonian Institute in Washington, it's an amazing artifact to actually see. First and foremost, I'm going to make a lot of changes to this because I like to push the envelope when it comes to model building and perfection. Many years ago, I used to make a lot of models. I did cars, boats, airplane models, ships, you name it, I made it. So, the original Da Vinci clock that's at the Smithsonian Institute is made of all wood. Everything is wood. This is a plastic model. So to make it look more realistic, I'm going to go to some of the designs of what Da Vinci used to, what he would have used. Now, this particular model uses a small, like, shovel here, as you can see here, to put coins in as the powered weight. And then over here we have a little plastic piece for the counterweight. And then for the two ball weights up here to adjust the accuracy of the clock, these are just plastic. So what I'm going to do is replace these two balls with actual half-ounce lead weights. And for the counterweight, I'm going to actually use a fishing weight of 1 ounce. Now for the powered weight, I'm going to use 5 ounces of a fishing weight. Now this kit comes with a 12-inch cord to power it. That will literally run this clock for about 10 minutes before you have to rewind it. So the original Da Vinci clock comes with an 86-inch cord, and that'll run for about 6 hours before you have to rewind it or wind it up. Another thing that I'm going to do is paint the dial black, because that's what the original Da Vinci clock is, with white enamel on the numbers. And the gears are actually brass, or painted, they're gold plated, but they look brass. So I'm going to paint the gears to look brass gears. Now the plates of the movement are brown tan because they were actually made of mahogany or wood. So I'm going to try to make it look as realistic as possible by painting them brown. The hands were kind of like a charcoal black, and so that's what we're going to keep it as an original. Now for this particular clock, when he designed it, you had the two dials. The bottom dial was the seconds hand, so the hand would rotate once every minute. The top hand would rotate from the, like if it was at the 12 o'clock, in an hour it would rotate to the 1 o'clock. So the way you would tell time is if the hand, say, was here, then this would be 12:05, 12:10, 12:15, 12:20, 12:30, 12:40, 12:45, 12:50, 55, and then finally 1 o'clock. They didn't have a minutes hand, so they only had one hand back then. So what I'm going to do is modify this, and I've made a list of stuff that I need. So I'm going to need black paint, white enamel paint, brown paint, brass paint, 86-inch cord, 5-ounce lead weight for the power, a 1-ounce lead weight for the counterbalance, and 2 half-ounce leads for the weight balls for the adjustments. That's these at the top. And then I'm going to use this X-Acto knife to trim the pieces once I cut them out of the molds, and use sandpapers and files to smooth them up so that they'll work more accurately. Because these particular kits, if you have ever put a kit together, they are like this one, for instance. You have to tear them apart. So when you tear them apart, you literally have to file and trim the pieces and so forth with the gears. So you'll need to make sure that everything can work smoothly. So we're going to do away with these pieces here. This is the counterweight, or for the adjustment. We're going to do away with the weight here, and we're going to do away with these weights and this piece here, as well as these two pieces here, and replace them with actual lead weights. Then I'm also going to be using a primer and a sealer to finish the paint job, to make it look a little bit more realistic. Now, this particular clock can either be a wall mount or a stand mount. So I'm going to go with the traditional Da Vinci mount, which was a wall mount. If you ever go to the Smithsonian, his actual clock was made to be mounted to the wall. And I actually have a original Swiss movement that's all wooden from 1720. I've got it in a later video if you go back and look at it. It's similar to the Da Vinci clock, but it's more modern than the Da Vinci. And so we're going to make this look like what Da Vinci had created when he did. So this is going to be a wall mount also, with true lead weights and true lead counterweights and the adjustment weights. So we're going to go ahead and start trying to take this apart and assemble it. It says on the box here, the operation of the clock is based on an escapement sketched by Leonardo da Vinci. The clock uses a pendulum weight as its main power source. Power is harnessed from the horizontal rotary pendulum design. The clock speed is controlled by the adjustment weights on each side of the pendulum. Assembly of the clock is either a wall mount or a standing configuration. The time to assemble this particular model is up to 2 to 3 hours. So we're going to make this the original wall mount clock. So this is part 1 of the Da Vinci clock, and I'm going to call this the Da Vinci Clock Deluxe because we're going to make it close to the looks and functionality of the original Da Vinci clock. So stay tuned.